Hello, and welcome to Bless Their Yap. I'm your Reverend host, Olivia. Join me and my patron saint, Marianne, as we dive in each week into a Gen Z holy text, a notes app. Each week, we are each tasked to think about a topic and yap about it. Marianne, what's your topic for this week?
Mine for this week. Okay, actually, before I go into my topic, I just want to preface that if you're watching on YouTube, where you can see the video, we know that Olivia's
I'm
video is
figuring.
very laggy. We're figuring it out, and Olivia's look was too good not to show, even if it's laggy. So if you stay like this for like a good minute, Olivia, then maybe they'll be able to see it.
Literally, my face is the front of shop.
So, yeah, I just wanted to preface that. But my topic is basically, I kind of want to talk to you about relationships and dating in the year of 2026
Yes.
for like Gen Z people. So, as two women who are both married, I feel like this is
We're
so
so
applicable. No, I'm kidding.
helpful.
We're so helpful to it. No, I genuinely feel like dating right now is super complicated because of all of the dating apps that are out there that I think we've kind of lost the plot in terms of how to actually behave like when you're in a relationship. I mean, casual dating is something that, if you love it, absolutely you go ahead and do it. But when people are out here, and a lot of people that I feel like I've seen on social media are like, where the hell is my husband? I want to know, like, I want to be in a long-term relationship, are kind of acting very,
That's my
just
husband.
not being very
Normal.
compromisably. I don't know how to like explain that word, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times it's my way or the highway, and I think when you're in a long-term relationship, that's definitely not the way to go. So, I wanted to talk about relationships right now and kind of what you think on that with that preface. So, without
Oh.
any more information, what do you think about dating right now?
Yeah, I think a really good place to start, honestly, is Marianne kind of like throwing a question back at you. Is like, do you like before you got married, like what was your dating life like?
Yeah, basically non-existent.
Oh,
So, I got married really young, obviously, or maybe
yeah,
not
we both
obvious.
did.
Maybe I
I
look
would
like a
say.
40-year-old woman. I'm not, but,
No?
I I got married really young, but I was also in a relationship in my current relationship. We're going on 8 years this year.
It's
So,
been
I've been
8
with
years?
yeah, it's been 8 years.
Oh
It's
my god,
crazy.
congrats. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Thank you. I think it's 8. It's since 2018, I think?
That's true.
Yeah,
It's
so
been since college. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So
That's
we've been
amazing.
dating a really long time. I've only had two like actual boyfriends that lasted more than 3 months or 3+ months. And like both of them, the first two were like very high school because I was very much
You
in
were
high
in high
school.
school?
So it's kind of, yeah, I was kind of learning what I wanted in a person and how I wanted to behave when I was in a relationship. Because I feel like when you're in a relationship, I feel like I've heard it from like a Hannah Montana episode or something, but
Right.
I feel like every relationship that you're in, good or bad, teaches you something at minimum
Yeah.
about yourself. So I kind of took every relationship that I was in, the whopping two at the time before my current husband, to kind of learn more about myself. But for context, I was that girl in school that had a crush on every single guy in her
The
school as
lover
long as they were
girl.
nice to them. Like if a boy was nice to me, I was like, "Oh my god."
Yes. No, I was the type of girl I remember distinctly in middle school, I hated this one boy, like, with a passion, hated this one boy, and then I had a dream about him where he was really nice to me, and then I developed, like, a crush on him for, like, a week after that, and it was because he was nice to me
Okay.
in a dream.
That's okay, that's something that I wanted to bring up is I feel like people idealize people when they're kind of over text because you can't hear what they're saying or how they're saying it, or maybe you know a little bit about them, but you don't necessarily know everything about them. So you kind of create this like idea of who you kind of create like a book boyfriend. And so that book
Definitely.
is never really going to up like those people don't exist. Like people are
Yeah.
human. There's like mistakes that they're going to make. There are things that you're not going to like about them. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is going to be, maybe in the future, hopefully not, but like in the future, I'm going to look back at this episode and be like, wow, that was, I don't know,
Wrong.
telling of of something. But I feel like I'm in a very good relationship right now,
Yeah.
but I feel like with like idealizing what a person could potentially be, you're not really leaving space for who they are and trying to grow with them, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I was in a church group when I was in, like, late middle school and high school, And I remember because I was not, like, with a, like, religious organization before that. This was, like, after I got adopted, and, like, my adopted family is very religious, and they did a girls' night to kind of, like, usher me in because they all knew, like, my story, her story, if you will.
Mhm.
And we're like, "We'll do a girls' night so she can meet all the girls of this youth group." And we did this thing where we wrote out a list of what we want our future husbands to be like. I don't have mine, but I knew people who up until, like I think they probably still do have it actually. Like, up until we were in our 20s, still had that list, and I remember I wrote on mine, it was like, "Cannot have tattoos, cannot have piercings, cannot have long hair, cannot, like, smoke or whatever, like, cannot do,"
Uh-huh.
which my husband has very long hair, so it's a funny little tidbit. And so I think it's like I was also very much like that girl that, like, would, like, really idealize, like, what I wanted my, like, book boyfriend essentially to be, or, like, the quote unquote,
Mhm.
like, perfect partner.
Mhm.
I was also I don't know if you were like this in high school. I was also very, I'm gonna just say shallow. Which I've learned, like, to, like, really, like, look down on, like, a younger me through. I wouldn't date people if I thought that they would make me, like, look bad, which is bad. Like, that was a really, like,
Interesting.
shitty thing. There was a guy that I thought was really I actually really like him now, like, I think he's a really cool person now, but, like, he admitted to having a crush on me in high school, and I turned him down.
Mhm.
And
Cool.
part of it was because I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I wanna be with someone like that." And I really kind of evolved into, like, coming into myself and being more confident with myself, which I'm very proud of. That's a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
In my dating life, I had a steady boyfriend throughout most of my high school years, and then we broke up after college. And then I was a homie hopper, cholo, like, you kind of homie hop.
What does that mean? Like, you
You don't know
date
what homie
friends
hopping
of
is?
friends?
Yeah, like, you
No.
date, like if you have usually, it's within, like, a friend group of boys, and there's, like, a girl that will then date, all the guys in the friend group. Mine, it was also my friend group 'cause as,
Uh-huh.
like, a I am bi, but I kind of more adhere to, like, being pansexual because, like, as someone I feel like I don't really care about gender, I'm more of attracted to, like, people personality-wise, and I
Who they
tend to be
are.
more attracted to, like, my friends, I would say, or people that I'm, like, closer with than, like, random
Yeah.
people. And so I dated, like, a lot of, like, my friends, which then proved to be very detrimental, as I got older, and I moved to Flagstaff, and kind of in that in between time of moving to Flagstaff and, meeting, I went on a lot of Tinder dates myself. I'm actually very pro Tinder, which is kind of problematic, I think, of me.
No.
Okay, I'm
It's
pro
it's see, this
Tinder.
is the thing.
Yeah.
It depends on how well, it doesn't really depend on how you use it. It's just it
Yeah.
depends on the person.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. I kinda did it for the wrong reasons, I'm gonna be fully honest. I was known in, like, my town, and specifically with my group, of being, like, I was a bad person at this time too, I'm very comfortable saying I was very, like, stuck up and judgmental and, like, thought I was so much better than other people because I wasn't having sex, and I wasn't doing drugs, and, like, I was just not, like, a very kind person to, like, people around me, and I really regret that because I think I hurt a lot of, like, friendships that I had at that time, and I'm a very different person
Mhm.
now, so we grow.
We love that. We love
And
growth.
but because of that and this incident that happened with one of my exes, I kinda, like, lashed out, and I wanted to participate in hookup culture, but I was living with my, like, very religious family at the time and, like, kind of,
Mhm.
like, psychologically dealing with, like, my own issues, and so I wouldn't, but I would go on a lot of casual dates with people that I would meet on Tinder, and at that time, I thought it was actually very good. I think casual dating, if you want to be casually dating and you don't wanna look for someone or you wanna just feel out a person and see what you think of them, I think that's where, like, stuff like Tinder and other, like, dating apps are really good. I actually
Mhm.
like, people love Bumble, and I didn't like Bumble because I don't like initiating anything. Um, and then, like, I had, like, a I don't like saying periods of singleness until I met Micah. I guess it wasn't even that long of a period of singleness. I was still, like, kind of, like I guess I wasn't looking for anybody at that time. And then I met my husband, who at the time was my neighbor, and we just really clicked and we got really close and, like, it just kind of worked out. But I'm actually very pro dating, and I talk to younger people in my life, I guess, like relatives and stuff, like, yeah, it's okay to, like, because I'm from such a sorry, I'm, like, also talking a lot.
No, that's okay.
I'm having a gap sesh with myself right now.
And that's what this is for.
I also because of my religious upbringing, there is such, like, a strong push towards, like, finding the person that you're gonna marry and, like, having soul
Mhm.
ties, especially for young women,
Yeah.
and that was something that I really felt and then wanted to reject as kind of, like, a way of my, like, deconstruction of that, and so I really go like, "Hey, I know people tell you you really have to care about finding, like, your spouse. It's okay if you don't. You can just
Mhm.
date to, like, feel things out with someone. You can just date because it's fun, and that's okay." But I think you have to really communicate. I think you have to figure that out within yourself first,
Yes.
and I think you have to communicate that with and we've you and I have talked about this too,
Mhm.
where, like, we really both, I think, are on the page of, like, if you want to just, like, casually date or just hook up or be friends with benefits or
That's
whatever,
completely fine.
you have to make sure that your partner is on the same page, and that's, like,
Exactly.
a big thing to me is, like, communication. Even if I'm not, like I think my husband will admit I'm not always the best at communication, it is very important to me.
No, I get that. I think the thing that I have trouble with about casual dating is I guess it's not about casual dating, it's just about people who say that they want to find something deeper, but then don't actually put in the effort to do
Yes.
that. I think with casual dating, I think it's also my, like, religious upbringing, with, like, the way that dating was always kind of it was very I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend. It was a very big deal when I had got my
Wow.
first boyfriend was a secret, my second boyfriend was a secret up until a certain
Oh, that's
point.
kinda tea. Was Wes a
Yeah.
secret? Oh, Wes was a secret. I do remember
Wes
that.
was a secret.
I do know
We
this. I
revealed
like to
we
be
revealed at my wedding that we had moved in together.
They didn't know till your wedding?
Nope. I mean, I'm sure they had an idea, but yeah, we revealed,
That's
like, part of
crazy.
Wesley's speech was like, "Yeah, to, Marianne's parents', chagrin, her and I have been dating since, like, 2018,
That's
so
ama and you can't get mad because it's like, it's your wedding.
hey, we're here."
You can't be
Exactly.
mad. I love that. That's okay. My family doesn't know
So
that I had premarital sex with my husband.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, it's so difficult to have those conversations when you're in that atmosphere
Yeah.
of, like, that religious, like, very, like, strict and, like, straight and narrow type of mentality.
Yes.
So, with my first, boyfriends, they were both kind of like a secret at one point, and I guess even my husband, I kind of forgot about that. But, essentially, it was always, like, a I guess I always felt like I needed to take the relationships really seriously because the point of dating is eventually to just not necessarily marriage because I don't think marriage is for everybody, but to, like, find the person that you want to be with for longer than 3 months, like, right? It's
Yeah.
like you're spending time on this person more than just a friend. So,
Yeah.
like, more than just you would put into, like, a friendship potentially. Uh, it's kind of a big decision to, like, continue trying to get to know this person, and that's kind of how I went about dating and and I feel like I still have that mentality. But yeah, I agree that if are just kinda looking for, like to, like, get to know people, I'm curious, I guess, not necessarily what you think, 'cause I feel like I got what you think, but I wonder what you think about me thinking. Don't you think it's a little bit unfair if you're just kind of, like, looking for something to, like for somebody to get to know, not necessarily, like, as, like, a long-term partner, if it's, like, kind of more of, like, a friend thing or, like, if it's not clear that you're just looking for, like, friends with benefits or, like,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
kind
I think anything not being clear and that's, like, I think kind of where I, like, can circle back to, like, why communication I think is so important very early on in, like, the, like, dating process, right? Like, I think even saying with somebody like, if you had 2 to 3 dates with someone, I think it's okay to say, like, "Okay, like, what do you want from this?" Like, is this something and I think part of that is just being comfortable both within yourself and, like, being comfortable with that person to say, like, "What are you looking for? What am I looking for? How do those
Mhm.
align? Do they align? And are we okay if they don't align?" And I think, like, kind of checking in on that. And I think it's a lot of self-work too, and that's something I really learned, like, in
Do
my
you think
dating process.
like, now have those conversations with people. I feel like a lot of
No, and I
girls I
think
see
we
online,
should.
and I specifically see girl content because
Yes,
men
we're
content
girls.
gets really toxic really quickly.
Yeah, and I think it's
So,
like,
we
just to
avoid that.
circle back really quickly to, like, when we were talking about, like, book boyfriend standards, we are not talking about, like, men being crazy and toxic and, like,
Yeah, no.
bad. Like, we are not talking about, like, misogynistic, weird dude bro, like, manosphere men. We are talking about, like, I want my boyfriend to be, like, 6 foot, brown hair, read
Mhm.
Shakespeare, never burp, never fart type of thing. Like, that is what I'm specifically talking about. I am not talking about, like, a crazy person.
Yeah, exactly, like, I
Yeah.
think it's interesting though, because I feel like now more men have been exposed to this, like,
Yes,
manosphere type of
I agree.
content, and it's, like, almost infecting, like, the good ones, so
I
to
think
speak.
men are really lashing out right now as,
Yeah.
like, thankfully, like, and I think this is also, like, and this is also solely from, like, a heterosexual or, like, heterosexual presenting perspective as well. We are both married to men, but I do think men are having, like, a really big crisis right now. I think the manosphere has gotten very toxic. It's always been toxic, but, like, I think it's
Yeah,
really been
but
pushed mainstream, especially in America too,
yeah.
with the current
Yeah.
administration.
Yeah. Well, I think it's that's the to me, I think that's the part of dating that is so difficult because what I've seen through social media is this outcry of like, "Oh my god, anytime I go on a date with a man, he's like he says something crazy
Yes,
or
I've actually
he
been there
did something
too.
weird." Yeah,
There's,
so
like, a level where you're, like, you're normal, and then you have to feel it out almost. This is not related. I do the same thing with, like, male, like, YouTubers, where I go, "Okay, I'm gonna, like, kind of feel you out here, but I'm concerned." Or, like, I
right.
have to, like, test.
You're kind of on a guard, yeah.
Yeah, and I think one, men shouldn't be like that, obviously. Men really need to, like, kinda check in and work on
I
themselves.
think it's that compromisey type of thing, the type of
Yeah.
behaviors, like, just as much as I feel like women maybe have these unrealistic expectations of what a man should be, should
Men very
act
clearly
like, etcetera, I think
are
it's
on
also
a
the same thing for
rampage.
men. Yeah, for men, they shouldn't
Yeah.
have, like, this very short-sighted version of of how a woman should behave or, like,
And also
who a
have
woman
very
should be.
unrealistic standards that are perpetuated, like, by media at large,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think the closest thing I can think of to, like, standards against men truly is, like, the height thing where, like, men are like, "Ugh, girls don't wanna date a guy that's under 6 foot."
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I've seen at mass maybe weight, but I do think that still encompasses women and non-binary
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. I think it's a nuanced topic. I do think there is valid criticisms to the dating culture right now, but I do think that there are expectations on both sides that aren't fair to have on either
yeah,
side. And I think that we would all like if we would all,
yeah.
girls and
Society
men who are
yeah,
out looking for long-term relationships would all benefit from having sit-down
yeah,
conversations in the first to second date about
what
their
you want.
expectations, what you want, what your values are, and whether you're compatible
Yes, and if they
in your future.
change, make sure you bring that up to your
Yes.
partner. If you decide that you don't want something or you do, yeah, I don't know, I feel like that person is someone you should always be comfortable to bring things up to.
Yes,
I also
100%.
wanna share in dating kind of like my qualms with like, because again, Marianne and I are not dating. But we have a couple like Marianne has more single friends than I do. All my friends are trad wives who got married. Um, but I had some friends that were single, and they would, like, complain about their partners, or I see a lot on social media, this, like, kind of trope. Because I was thinking about this on the way back home from work, and how frustrating I feel like it can be as a friend with somebody who, like, has a toxic partner,
Mm,
but you say, "Well, that person's toxic," and you celebrate when they break up, and then they get back together, and you feel, like,
and you're like,
frustrated. Yeah, because I feel like that is something that I see a lot, and that kind of grinds my gears, I think a bit more than even just, like, casual dating, is the sort of, like, shit talking of your partner while also either never leaving them or, like, going back to them whenever you have the chance, and I understand, like,
yeah.
relationships are complicated, and abuse can even be complicated. But I
Mhm.
do think, like, it puts your friend at a very weird stance of, like, you are either A, not listening to me, or B, this is getting silly if it's not, like,
Mhm.
serious, right? Like, I had a friend who did this a lot with her boyfriend, and it really, like, hurt our friendship because I was like, "Girl, like, I can't say anything bad to you because 'cause you're like, or I don't wanna participate in this, like, shit talk of him because 'cause you're gonna get with him in a week." And I don't wanna
Yes.
then be the bad guy when you get back
Yeah.
with him, you know what I mean?
I've been there too, where, like, I've had friends who also are in, like, these on again, off again
Yeah.
relationships, and, like, they feel like they need to have their person right now, and they're stressed out. It feels like they're stressed out about not having their long-term partner, so they just get back together with the person that would be the most convenient, even though it's definitely a toxic
And I
relationship.
think, like, that is part of I think the core thing about this dating conversation is really looking within yourself what you need and are you like, I firmly believe that, like, if you don't know yourself, how are you going to ever intimately know anybody else? And, like, you kinda
Yeah.
gotta, like, lock in and sit in and be like, "Well, who am I? Like, what are my
Yeah.
values? What are my goals?" Before you start looking
Yeah.
at somebody else.
I agree. I think that's something that even as, like, a young adult teenager, I kind of had a very good understanding of
Yeah.
what my values were and who like and how I wanted my values to reflect on another person or how
Marion is a very
their values might reflect on
self-actualized
me.
human being. Marion is a very we almost inspired you to self-actualize this
I had to
morning.
grow up quick, so that's why. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that we've had this conversation. This was
I
very,
love
very
this
interesting.
convo for 2
Yeah.
married biddies. Did
Yeah.
you I do wanna know 'cause because I'm adopted, I have my
Mhm,
adopted family, which is very religious, but I have my biological family, which is not religious at all. I
mhm,
wanna know from your perspective when you got married. My religious family I got married at 23, just for, like, context. I'm now currently 27. When I got married, my religious family acted like I was, like, this old biddy finally getting married, and my non-religious, like, biological family were like, "Are you pregnant? Are you okay? Are you" like, they kinda treated me like I was a child bride a little bit,
Yeah.
and I wanna know if you experienced that as well, or if that's just a
I ex
uniquely me sitch.
I experienced that kind of. I
Kinda.
feel like people very much thought that, like, "Wow, she's really young to be getting married."
Mhm.
Like, when people would remember how old I was, because I think I was also 20 I think I was
You were 20
22, 20
yeah, you were
20
around the same
I think
age.
22, yeah, 22 or 23, I think I was 22.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I was, going to turn 23 that year. Anyways, so, essentially, I think my family, because all of my family is very religious, like, I think all of Wesley's family is very religious, we're just not the, like, super religious ones. Um, so it was, like wasn't expected for me to get married this young because most of my cousins are older than me and not married, but
Okay.
it made sense, I think, because they knew like, everybody knows how
Like, it was
mature I am
coming.
and how,
Yeah.
like, old.
They're
Yeah,
not
they knew. They, like everybody knew how because a lot of my family it's really funny. A lot of my family came over one summer, from, like, all over the world. They're kind of all spread around, and they came over to, hang out in Canada with us, and so we
Mhm.
all went to Canada's Wonderland, which is, like, an amusement park,
What is
and I
Canada's
brought Wesley.
Wonderland?
It's like a big amusement park. We'll definitely go in the summer. I suck at roller coasters, so I will be the bag
I hate roller
lady.
coasters. No, I hate roller coasters too. I don't like them.
Oh, wonderful, we can be
I'm
bag
a
ladies
big
together.
I love a dark ride though, and like a little fun house though, so we
I like
can do
those.
that.
I do like those.
I like a carousel too.
Um,
Can we do a carousel?
Absolutely, we can do one. Okay, anyways, so we went to Canada's Wonderland, and essentially, I introduced him to, like, my entire family, and
Mhm.
and a lot of them were there. Not all of them, but a lot of them were there, and they could immediately tell that him and I were dating. I wasn't necessarily trying to hide it because I felt like the people that would
Why else would this white boy be here? She's not
Yeah,
dating
exactly.
him.
Exactly. The only people that would have an issue with it would be my parents, especially because they knew that we were living together. I don't know if I know my cousins knew
Big
that
bottom. Yeah.
Wesley and I were living together, but I don't think my uncles and aunts knew
Yeah.
unless they told. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So I think it was a situation where everybody saw it coming, but when people think back to, I guess, how old I was, they were like, "Wow, she was young."
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
My mom told me when I got married, she was like she always told me that she was, like, the last in her friend group. I'm sure I've told you this story 'cause it's my favorite story to tell, that she was, like, the
I don't think you
last
have.
in her friend group to get married, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I was, like, the only girl in my friend group to get married," and I was like she kind of, like, acted like I assumed she got married in, like, her late 30s 'cause I know she had kids
Uh-huh.
kind of older too. Like my little brothers. And so I just always assumed she got married like in her late 30s. And I was like, "Well, mom, how old were you when you got married?" 23.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right. The real
Right.
true child brides.
I know. She was like, "Yeah, I had like 8 friends and like I was just the last in my friend group to get married. It was so
That's
hard."
wild.
I was like,
I feel like
"I
that's
wish that."
uniquely okay, maybe not uniquely, but I feel like that's very common in the South of the US is, like, to get
Yes.
married at, like,
And
18, 19, 20.
yeah, and I mean, it's honestly like I think because I'm not technically in like the South that like you're thinking of,
Mhm.
but I think in like very religious communities, like it's very
Yeah, that's
common.
true.
And my mom, like, she's not, they're just like non-denominational. I think it's okay to say like what denomination they are. They do
Mhm.
like a lot, they're evangelical, is sort of like the overarching term.
Mhm.
But yeah, and so it was just really funny for her to be like, "Yeah, I was just so
I
old.
was
I was
so
so
old.
old." I know I told you this story too. I had a friend because I grew up in a town that was very, like, Mormon. I had a friend who was Mormon, and I did her makeup for her wedding, and we were 18, like, it was, like, the summer after we graduated, freshly 18. I have to do her makeup at, like, 5 AM because I'm not allowed in the temple,
Oh.
and I'm doing her makeup, and she's like, "Are you jealous that I'm getting married and you're not?" And we're
Oh my god!
18. It is the summer of
That is crazy for a
2017.
child bride to say that.
I know, I
That's
was like,
wild.
"No,
Like,
no,
that's great.
we just graduated, diva, are you crazy?"
Even if we're 30 and saying that, that's wild.
I know, 18 telling me that. And I was like,
Crazy. That's insane. Mormons, I guess. I
Mormon
don't know.
Mormons. I have a lot of listeners, if you ever wanna hear some, like, Mormon stories, again, I'm not Mormon, so I cannot protest, but a lot of my, like, childhood friends were Mormon. I would love to share. So if that's something you guys are into, let me know.
I'm into it.
I
I
know.
wanna hear these stories at least after the pod.
We could just do it if we wanted to. I could just do it.
Okay,
Okay,
well, what's your topic for the
my
week?
topic is so I'm shocker, big surprise, I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah!
Yeah, so I'm moving to Canada probably, like, late May, listeners, which is very exciting, from the States. And I wanted to talk to Marianne because Marianne is my residential, like, organized, clean girl, has her shit together person, and I am not. Marianne, how do you organize? How do you keep your house is always really clean and really, like, organized, and that's something I really wanna, like, as I move to this new, like, apartment, I really wanna, like, implement, but I am a spreader and I'm a
Mhm.
clutter bug, and I wanna fix that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're so
So,
organized.
my background, I guess, my upbringing, my mom is a cleaning lady, so she is
Right?
very, like was very adamant about us
Being
keeping our
clean.
rooms clean and being clean. So, essentially, I grew up with this expectation that every, like, Sunday or Saturday, we just cleaned the entire house. So we cleaned all the bathrooms, we cleaned our room, cleaned our sheets, did the laundry, like, that was the
I
day
love
to
that.
clean. So, as, I was growing up, I was very messy as a child, but I
That's
basically got that,
crazy to
like
think about. That's crazy.
I got that, like, slapped out of me because my parents are very clean and, like, very adamant about that, and I didn't wanna get in trouble. Like, I was a goody
Aw.
two-shoes as a kid, so I wanted to make sure that my parents, like, felt proud of me and all of that stuff. And
Aw.
then eventually when I got to university, I realized that all of that had almost osmosis into me. So when I was, living on my own, I liked that routine of like, okay, on Sundays or on Saturday when I have time, like I will clean. And I liked having a clean bathroom. I liked, having a clean kitchen before and after I started cooking, all of that stuff. And it was very difficult because I had a lot of roommates when I was in
Mhm.
university,
As one does.
as one does. And it was difficult for me to get accustomed to like their level of cleanliness. So I just made everybody clean anyways.
I love that. Marianne is the type of friend who's not shy to tell you what you need to do, and I actually really respect you for it.
No. It's like, I do it in a I know I sound like a but I do it in a
No,
really nice
I
way.
think it's I honestly think it is one of your strengths that you are one, you're very good at organizing people, but also, like and you and I've talked about this, where, like, you have, like, a bluntness to you, but you do it in such a nice way, it, like, works, you know what I mean? Like, you
I
have a
do, I
filter.
promise.
I need people like Mary and Marianne in my life, genuinely.
I appreciate that.
People like Olivia's benefit from people like Marianne.
Exactly. What I did for my roommates was essentially make like a chore wheel type of thing where every week we would switch chores, or like rotate chores essentially, and like a mix of like all the chores that we needed to do. So something that really helped me was know the expectation that I had. So I had the
Mm.
expectation for at least my bathroom. I didn't care about anybody else's bathroom, but at least my bathroom had to be clean. So I
Mhm.
coordinated with Wesley. We were like, okay, you know, I want the bathroom to be clean once a week or like as often as needed. So we need to do that. And then I started listing out all of the other chores that I wanted to do. So, mopping like every like honestly once a month, which might sound disgusting, but like
No,
we
I
take
think
our
that's
shoes
the same
off
level
here in
that we mob.
Canada.
Yeah.
We take our shoes off, so our socks are clean as long as you're not going out in your socks. Um, Vacuuming every couple days or whatever, or at least sweeping dishes every day, like all of that stuff, just listing out all of the chores that you need to do. And I also have ADHD. So doing all of this is very hard for me to like keep track of if I
Mhm.
don't have a list. If things aren't
Okay.
in a list format or a place that I can like physically see, it just I will
They'll disappear into, like, the ether.
yeah, it will disappear into the ether until it like bothers me so much that I just have to do it like right now.
Mhm.
So, in order for me not to get overwhelmed in terms of all the cleaning that I need to do, I'll like assign certain times where I'm like, okay, after cleaning the kitchen, might as well use the flow of like cleaning to sweep the floors too, or
Okay.
um like kind of that mentality of like if I'm already cleaning, might as well like do that one extra task in
Mhm.
order to like make my life easier later on. That's how I organize
That's really
myself.
good. I
It's,
really
like,
like
very
that.
messy organization,
No, I
I
think
feel
I
like.
think that's honestly something Micah and I will really benefit from is, like, writing stuff down. Because 'cause I'm definitely, like, the main clutter issue. I just have a lot of, like I like a very, like, maximalist if you can't tell from my background. I'm a very, like, maximalist, old-timey aesthetic, and that involves a lot of stuff, and so I think, like, learning to organize that better and, like, have shelves and bookcases as well as, like, writing stuff down, I think is gonna be very beneficial, and I'll have a
Yeah.
lot of free time
I
on my
think
hands.
for, like, all of the stuff, because I also like to have a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
I think something that might help is having a place for all of your stuff.
That is
So,
honestly what Micah said. He's
these
like, "That's gonna be
yeah,
great, is if you just have a place," and I was like, "I agree." I'm also gonna
yeah.
really work on I have a big goal of, like, halving, like, my wardrobe, for example. I'm gonna sit with my mother-in-law, who can be brutal, and will be like, "Don't keep that, that's horrendous, you don't need another, like, turtleneck." And so, I think that'll be very good because I really wanna half my wardrobe, I really wanna, like, limit how many pots and pans we have to serve essentials, and that's, like, my big goal for when we move, is, like, I really wanna, like, downsize stuff, and I really wanna, like, work on being more organized and, like, actually having it clean. Because even, like, I'm looking around this room and I'm like, "Oh, I could've put, like, all this stuff away," and it's not.
I that's okay. The one thing I am terrible at because I'm not like I'm good, but I'm also good at hiding what I'm bad at. So the one thing that I'm absolutely awful at is I will do laundry from like washing everything and then putting it in the dryer and then putting it in the basket, putting things away that
Unlike
can sit there for over a week and I'm like unbothered.
laundry
Like I'm like, well,
chair. Yeah, no,
I can't.
literally, laundry chair is
I hate
real.
putting laundry
I
away.
hate it. Often worse things. So, we're working on it.
Yeah, I know, I'm also working on it.
Grow every day.
But yeah, I think it's a good goal to have to, like,
Yeah.
be more organized because it genuinely for me, especially, my brain is already so cluttered that I need
Yeah.
my space to be not.
That's
Otherwise,
me
I will just
too,
feel overwhelmed.
and I'll, like, lash out if my space gets too messy. I've noticed, like, okay, we had a situation where I thought people weren't coming over to our house for something, and they were, but it was, like, 2 days later, but I thought it was a day earlier. And I, like,
Mhm.
freaked out on my husband, and I freaked out on my home and just started, like, deep cleaning everything, and I was like, "We can't have this messy for anybody. It has to be clean." And, like, I, like, got flashbacks to when, like, my mom would, like, freak out on us because like, guests were coming and the house was messy, and I was like, "Oh god, I've
Yes.
become her."
Yeah.
So, I
I
think just
loved whenever
working
or
on it every
not
day.
loved, I hated whenever my mom would host, like, a Christmas party or something and would be like, "You have to clean your room," and I'm like, "None of these people are gonna come
We're
up to
coming
my
in there.
room. Why do I have to clean my
We're
room?"
coming in there.
But now I'm the same. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, my room needs to be clean if
Exactly,
anybody comes." The
exactly.
external pressure of people coming over is, I think, the
Terrifying,
biggest motivator for me to clean.
terrifying. I also have cats, and so I'm always, like, really concerned that my house smells like cat litter because, like, we just don't have a
Mm,
good I really hope in this new place we can figure out a good space to, like, actually keep our, like, litter box because I'm just
mhm,
so because right now it's in our guest bathroom, and, like, I just feel like I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, people smell cat poop," because my cat is also stinky. She has some
mm.
nuclear poops. Um
Oh, no.
I know. And so I just really wanna work on, like, being tidier and being more organized, and that's my big goal for when I move.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you think does your place that you're moving to have a window in the bathroom? Because you could always crack open a little
It
window.
does, I think, to my memory. It was hard. I feel like
Mhm,
I looked at it a lot. Like, I always show people, like, pictures on Zillow, and the pictures on Zillow aren't good, but I didn't take pictures because the
mhm.
tenant was there, and that's weird. Like,
No,
be
that's
like,
fair.
"I'm gonna take pictures of your stuff." But we do, and, like, I know it'll be fine, but my brain is just, like, really worried about it. Also, like, the place that we're moving to is, like, not that much, like, smaller than what we have currently, but it's a lot more narrow, and so I'm trying to,
Mhm,
like, figure that out in my brain too. We'll see. It'll
yeah.
happen when we get there.
I will help interior
Right.
decorating, I'm terrible at, but, like, I also am very good at Tetris, so there's, like,
Play, yeah, eat.
something there.
It's perfect, and I'll have so much free time, so it's gonna be great.
Perfect.
Yeah. I guess this would now be a good chance to get into sermon studies.
Mhm.
Listeners, sermon studies are just like little topics or hobbies that we've been doing or things that we've been listening to or watching that we want to share with you. Mine is really tacky. I've been wearing red lipstick more, as you can probably see, with
Love.
like a very bold eyeliner, and I'm really jibing with it. I'm having a lot of fun. I used to
Her
hate red lip
coworker said that she looks like Elizabeth Taylor, and I genuinely can see it only because the new Elizabeth Taylor music video came out, and it was just a ton of clips of Elizabeth Taylor, and I'm like, "Wait,
Oh my
see, you
gosh.
kinda do look like Elizabeth
Actual
Taylor."
mouth kiss. Ah.
I can see it.
Yeah, and I never thought that red lipstick looked good on me. I just didn't think I had, like, the mouth for it, but I really like it. I'm having fun. So experiment with
No,
your
it looks
makeup
really good. I think
is
you
my
found your
sermon
color
study.
too. I
I
think red
agree.
lipstick is, like it's so difficult to find a good
I
red lipstick
agree.
color because there are so many. So, yeah,
But yeah,
it's good.
experiment with your makeup is my sermon study.
Yay. I need to do more of that. I'm excited for when you come over and we can have, like, a
Oh
sleepover
my
or
gosh.
something and you can do my makeup. I'll do, like, my version of makeup on you, and then
That'd
you
be
can do
so
your
fun.
version of
Yes.
makeup on me, and yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But my sermon study is I watched The Substance yesterday,
Is it
and I
good?
don't know if I don't okay, so you haven't watched it. It's good, but it was very heavy-handed,
Yeah,
in
that's what
terms of,
I've
like,
heard.
sexuality.
That's what I heard.
I get it. Get that that's the point of the movie,
It
or
feels
I guess it's not the point of the movie, but
I heard people say it feels voyeuristic with what like, we understand the topic, but it also feels like you're just participating in the voyeurism
yes.
while trying to, like, be like, "But we're talking about it, so it's fine."
But it's bad. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
exactly.
bad, and I would agree.
Yeah, yeah. I also feel like I wish they would have made their, like, male characters that were, like, clearly, like, more of, like, the ones perpetuating the whole, like,
Mhm.
beauty standard thing, less cartoony
Yes.
villains and more just, like, how men are in real life because I understand that the movie is kind of, like, exaggerated and, like, really out like, not necessarily out there is the wrong word, but it's, like, very, very exaggerated. But honestly, the way that men behave, especially and I feel like like Hollywood and like the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
it's kind of already very villainous in
Yes.
itself. Like making them feel like cartoony villains kind of detracts
I
from the
agree, and I've thought about this with other films too that portray, like, sexism in, like, such a cartoonish way, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, but sexism isn't also just, like, men being like, "Ah, toots, you can't wear pants or have a job, you old
Yeah.
hag." It's also, like, men being weird to you on the bus or telling you to
Yeah.
smile or, like, more there's, like, a lot of subtleties. I mean, even, like, men just being, like right as we were talking about with dating, the
You're good.
way that, like, men dating younger women is so, like, normalized in our culture
Normalized.
is something that I think is, like, a huge part of the patriarchy that we sort of have just accepted to be very normal, even, like,
Mhm.
in culture at large. And I think we should talk about, like, the more nuances that come with bigotry and
Yeah.
just the
No, I
cartoon
agree. I think
portrayals.
it's never, I mean, very, very rarely, unless it's like a male podcaster, it's very rarely like
It
overt sexism. It's
yeah.
very undertones of
It's
sexism,
very
which is
undertoned.
difficult to pinpoint, but yeah.
Yeah, and even, like, I've noticed in men sometimes it's sexism and they don't even, like, realize it's being
Mhm.
sexist, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's just, like,
Yes.
saying something
It's
about,
their
like, a woman in a
reality.
bikini, and you're like, "That was a weird thing for you to say," and they're, like, otherwise a very, like, progressive person when it comes to,
Mhm.
like, women's rights, and you'll still be like, "You're just a man. It's just what you do."
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Watch The Substance, good movie overall. I just wish it was, like, slightly less. It made me uncomfortable in a way that I didn't necessarily feel like was necessary
Necessary. Yeah,
to the movie, to the plot. Yeah.
I understand that, yeah. Watch Substance, play with makeup,
Date well, I guess.
date well, organize.
And we're gonna organize well too. Yeah, exactly.
And I think
Alright,
that's
well,
it
love
for
you guys.
us. Love you. Toots, babes.